What's going on? My bro Mixins, my Greg Brosifs, my Brosy Julits? That's a player, right? Defensive player? What's going on, Ron? How you doing tonight?
My bro Burrow. I am doing so good. It's a Friday night. We're here. And as always, we get to talk about beer and sports. It's a
Perfect
there's
combination.
never a there's never a bad night to talk about sports, and when you got beer, it's always a good combination.
Maybe add some
We
pizza.
love it.
We're good. Pizza?
Ooh, if you add pizza, that's just a bonus.
Beer,
Obviously.
pizza and football. I would like to. So we are your hosts. I'm Nick Keeland. This is Ron Smith, ya boy. We have a guest appearance tonight, and his name is Jalvin. Jalvin, how are you doing on this lovely Friday night?
How you doing, D-Bro Samuel?
Ooh, I like it.
Love it.
I'm glad to be here. It's going to be fun.
We love having you. We look forward to having you more often. We'll figure out an exact schedule, but Jalvin will be joining us every once in a while and broing it out with us. To start off, though, Ron, what are you drinking for the night? What's your beer of choice?
Ooh, that is a great question, and I have a great answer. What I'm drinking for tonight, as I shouldn't say as always, we do love to go local, and what I got is a Fulton Brewing Company Sweet Child of Vine. This one is one of my favorites. I love IPAs. I love the flavor, and it's named after honestly a pretty sweet song, "Sweet Child of Vine."
Can we get
This
another
is,
solo? Can we get a solo?
Oh, whoa, sweet child of vine. And if you love Step
Hey,
Brothers,
Jalvin, can you clip that?
one of the
Done.
one of the greatest scenes in movie history is in Step Brothers when they sing "Sweet Child of Mine" in the Range Rover. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about our
Kids, I
beer.
forgot about that scene.
Yes,
That's a whole
yes.
nother
Thank you, Jalvin. Thank you, Jalvin.
con-
Sweet Child of
conversation.
Vine, Fulton Brewing Company. Give it a try. I love it.
It's
You
local to
guys
St.
will too.
Paul. I can't
Yes.
disagree with it. The beer I have for the night is so once again I'm going with the same beer, but Dual Citizen. Okay, it's a Minneapolis local beer. If you live outside Minnesota, you can order it off of TotalWine.com. They will ship it straight to your house. The flavor of the week that I have is called Elbow Bender. So if you're sitting here going, you're bending your elbow, of course. It's a Kolsch style ale, 4.4% alcohol. If you're watching football all day on Sunday, this is perfect. You can drink 5 of them. That's not realistic, but you can drink them and you won't get gut rot. You will be perfect. But as far as what we're going to talk about tonight, we're going to talk about the Thursday night recap between the Bills and the Dolphins, give you some starts and sits for the weekend, and just talk pure football. Ron,
Yes, sir.
Thursday night, what happened?
Thursday night, I think it was, we did a little bit of a preview, and it definitely was not what we expected.
No, not at all.
A little bit of a blowout. Bills winning 31-10. James Cook shining, 3 first half touchdowns. We definitely talked about how we thought this was going to be we thought this was going to be an offensive shootout, and Miami did not live up to the bill.
They had they had an over under of 48.5.
We
only scored 41 total. So if you bet the
Yeah.
under, you're good. They actually had Miami winning by 2.5 due to Vegas odds, and Buffalo won by 21. But who do you think was the star of the day? Who's the guy to own in fantasy for that day?
100%. I wouldn't even say there was one star of the game. And it's even tough to be like there's a 1A star and a 1B star. I think both of these guys were 1A stars. James Cook, Devon Achane, James Cook pretty much did all of his damage in the first half with 11 carries, 70 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And he had 1 catch for 17 yards and a touchdown. He just looked really good anytime he touched the ball. I mean, I think he scored more touchdowns in this game than he did all of last year. And I could be wrong on that because I know he had some receiving. He had 2 rushing.
Stat check us.
Yes, Jalvin, please. I know he had 2 rushing touchdowns all of last year.
I can't believe this. Cook had 2 rushing touchdowns
2 rushing touchdowns. Did he have any receiving?
and 4.
4 receiving. Okay,
6 total.
He had half of it
So
in one
he-
game, though.
He that's incredible. I mean, if you drafted James Cook, that is exactly what you want to see out of him, and something you probably didn't expect to see out of this Bills offense, because typically you see Josh Allen taking the goal line carries. Maybe they're shifting into like not giving him such a beating at the goal line. Who knows? But if you're a James Cook owner,
You're excited.
you know, you drafted him in probably a late 3rd, early 4th round. You love to see him scoring 3 touchdowns.
Oh, I totally agree. Hey,
Yeah,
real quick about A-Chain. Sorry to cut you off.
no, you're good.
Jalvin.
No need to apologize.
How-
you do your thing.
I'd like to talk about one injury. So the Dolphins did not play great in the first half. We had a massive injury, though, to a Tagovailoa, another concussion. We'll see what happens with that. Hopefully he gets better, and you never like to see players getting hurt. Oh, my God. I got to take a second, though. Creek Squad,
Real quick,
0798.
Tua.
Wait.
Tua-
I gotta say this. Creek Squad 0798. First, welcome to the chat. Thoughts on
Welcome.
Shannon
I'm
clapping
seeing this too.
cheeks? Thoughts on Shannon? First, it's the funniest thing of all time. Somebody hacked into his Instagram and recorded him and Michelle was her name, getting into it. Okay, so hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Okay, fill me in, because who is Shannon?
Shannon
Sharp?
Sharp, he got hacked on his Instagram, going at it with he kept saying Michelle. Hilarious. 10 out of 10. Would recommend somebody else getting hacked. Jalvin, real quick though, once Tua went out, how did A-Chain do once he got out? Michelle Obama. It could have been Michelle Obama. Maybe Brock was there too.
How did A-Chain do?
Once Tua went out.
Well, I think it's a common
Wow.
trait. It's a common situation that happens in the NFL in general, where when your starting quarterback goes out, your backup is going to rely a lot on dump offs. And A-Chain
Agreed.
is going to be the
Agreed.
dump off king this year, at least until Tua comes back. I watched a doctor talk about how Tua could be out, if he doesn't retire, up to 6 to 8 weeks.
Potentially 12, yeah.
And so whoever the Miami Dolphins sign, whether they stay with Thompson or sign another quarterback, dump off City to A-Chain. In PPR leagues, I wish I had him.
Oh, I hope so. I mean, Ron, do you have any favorites on who the Dolphins could sign?
I mean, you got Tannehill.
Or
Tannehill's
trade
got,
for.
Well, Tannehill was on the Dolphins, but not with this coaching staff. So, you think of Tannehill. I know we talked about Sam Howell. Sam Howell's on the Seahawks. He's not playing.
Dump off City at the Sharp House.
I'm just reading that too. That is, man. This
If
guy's
you
good. This guy's.
watch his video with him and Ocho Cinco, and he's talking about like, yeah, if you give me another 10, 15 minutes, it's a good clip. Sorry to cut you off.
Okay. No, you're good. I mean, there's a lot of different situations that could happen. I mean, you
Who's your-
never know
Who's your
what
favorite?
you never.
Who's your favorite person that you want them to sign? Tannehill? Or trade for him?
It's something that you had mentioned earlier. I think with the speed of this team, honestly, like Jameis Winston, like what a
Yes.
what a fun what a fun trade that would be. Jameis Winston is probably like the gunslinger of all gunslingers. He's got a huge arm. This is probably the fastest team in the NFL.
Dump off city, very purple rain.
I think if they did sign Jameis Winston, that fares well for Tyreek and Jalen Waddle owners.
Oh my God, yeah.
But that might actually hurt like Achane owners because he's not much of a dump off guy. He likes to throw the ball downfield. If they stick with Skyler, I think Achane's
skyrockets.
I think his value skyrockets. I think they're gonna. If they don't do anything with their quarterback situation, Achane is going to 100% be the focal point of their offense. 100%.
Shout out to sorry, real quick. Shout out to MJ Jorgie, 1,000 bits in the chat. Can we get a cheers to MJ Jorgie 10? Huh, Ron? Can we get a cheers?
MJ. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah. As far as Thursday night, though, I have a couple players that, one specifically that I was way off on, and another one that we were really wrong on. A guy that you own and you've loved for 3 years, Josh Allen. Not a great game, but he didn't need it. So who else do you have? Who else do you have that kind of underperformed for Thursday night?
This was kind of an underperformance game all around for a lot of people besides Cook and Achane. You got Allen, and like Allen didn't need to do anything when.
Hey, real quick, can you guys guess how many times Achane has touched the ball this year in 2 weeks?
So he had 29 touches this past week.
I'm going to say...
I got the number.
45.
Okay, Ron?
I'm going to say 53.
46. So very close. Nick.
Ooh.
If I told you
nice
if I didn't tell you the name and I said your running back touched the ball 46 times in the first 2 weeks, how happy would you be?
Oh.
Ecstatic.
23 touches, average 23 touches through the first 2 games.
Ecstatic, dude.
Dude, in this day and age with football, if your running back is averaging 15 touches a game, you're happy with that. Right?
Jalvin, why don't you have a camera? Creek Squad 0798 wants
cute,
to know.
no Diddy.
Cute, no Diddy.
Oh.
He's our producer, you could say. He's our
behind the scenes.
Let's be realistic.
Fact checker.
He's got a great voice.
He does. He is Italian.
Yeah.
I mean, that helps him 100%.
Real quick though, I want to continue on this. Tyreek Hill, are you worried about him? If they don't, Skylar Thompson, are you worried about him?
If they don't make a move at quarterback, absolutely. Him and Waddle take a gigantic dip, and I don't take that lightly. Their value dips so much that it's scary because, I mean, if you talk about Tua, he's probably a top 10 fantasy quarterback in the league right now. You lose him and you go to Skylar Thompson, and if you watch some of the throws he made after he came in when Tua got hurt, the dude literally looks like he doesn't know how to throw a football. I'm worried about Hill, Waddle. The one player I think benefits from this, because we're talking about dump off city. Shout out to our followers in the comments. Achane benefits from this a lot, I think, because Skylar's going to be a dump offer. Is that even a word? Dump offer?
He's an off dumper.
No. I like that better. I like off dumper better. Hill and Waddle take a huge hit to their value. They are fast downfield receivers.
Where would you rank them?
They take a huge hit.
So Hill was like top 3 wide receiver. Where are you ranking him now?
I think rest of the season. Honestly, with the quarterback play, dude, quarterback play is huge. Like you can't you can't do anything if you don't have somebody throwing you the ball. Like they might both dip. I wouldn't put Waddle in my top 10.
No. Okay.
I think he's out. I think now he's outside of my
30,
top 20,
like
and
25.
I think, yeah, I think he's outside of my top 20, and I think Hill now because of this dips outside of your top 10.
I have a small counter to that. I think McDaniels is going to come back these next few weeks while Tua is out, and he's going to come out with a lot of plays where they get Hill the ball. Like, they're going to be fabricated Hill touches that any quarterback that knows what left and right is going to be able to get to him.
What?
Short, I think it's going to be screens, 5 to 10. Excuse me,
Yeah.
5 to 10 yard plays where they're going to put the ball in Hill's hands and he's going to work and he's going to break some.
They're gonna put him in motion a lot. Real quick, shout out to M Jorgy 10, gifting a sub to Very Purple Rain. Clutch play. Yeah, that was huge, Jorgy. Keep it up.
Bro, love it.
As far as Waddle and Hill, their value, I don't want to say tanks because that's a strong word. Yeah, let's cheers to that. Let's cheers to the gifted sub.
We pretty much do anything the commenters ask. If we say cheers in chat, let's cheers. Come on.
I already did it. But okay, cheers.
Oh, my bad. Didn't see it.
As far as the other players involved in that game, Kincaid looked a lot better. It seemed like they were trying to get him involved earlier. I'm not doing a backflip, by the way. But then they got a big and he disappeared. I mean, Josh Allen threw the ball, 19 times.
19 times.
Our
That's
pick
probably
of the game, Keon Coleman, I thought he was going to just light it up. He still played 91% of the snaps, and he didn't have a damn catch.
Hey, real quick, Jelvin, can we get a wah, wah, wah?
Wah, wah, wah. There we go.
Yeah, Keon Coleman is our loser of the game.
What happened? What happened?
One target.
He was not a bro. Was not a bro.
Actually, I don't think it's his fault because how many times did Allen throw it?
19 times. We did talk about that. 19 times. He did have one target. The most targeted player was Khalil Shakir. Dude, he might be a big sleeper of the year. He's probably going to be their slot receiver most of this year.
I mean, the announcers were saying, not that the announcer's opinion matters more than us, but like he's going to be their number one. It seems like he's the only guy that actually caught a pass from Josh Allen last year, and he is just watching based on the eye test. He's looking like a stud in the slot.
Absolutely. Another player that I want to talk about that I was impressed with, just as our last winner, Jonnu Smith.
Yes, I like it.
He had 7 targets, 6 catches for 53 yards. He actually might. I don't think any offensive weapon is going to benefit from losing their starting quarterback.
He could.
But as a tight end, you think about tight ends as like a safety blanket for most quarterbacks. He looked really good with Tua playing there, but even with Skyler, you think about a quarterback that's a backup, maybe not taking as many shots downfield. Jonnu Smith could be one of those guys that benefits as like the short yardage, catch with yards after catch kind of guy.
If you think about
he looked good last night. He could benefit. It's hard to say anybody's going to benefit from losing their starting quarterback, but he did look really good last night.
I would disagree a little bit. So when you have bad quarterbacks that aren't going to throw the ball down the field, who are the two positions they're going to look at more? They're dump offs, because tonight's dump off city, right? Is that like our theme of the night? Dump off city to H.
Must be.
And then your safety blanket in your tight end. They're not confident throwing the ball down the field, which is Hill and Waddle's game. You could totally see A-Chain and Jonnu Smith having better games. Jonnu Smith's not going to be a tight end one. Real quick, dude, MJ Jorge just continually just sending out bits left and right, just making it rain. 1,000 biddies again.
Yes.
Let's cheers to him real quick. Okay. The Red Label. I was watching you on my TV, but decided to join in the chat. Y'all seem like cool guys, so cheers. We will always
Appreciate
cheers to you. We're here to talk football, maybe do some goofy stuff. If you want, we posted some videos on YouTube. We did a all-time fantasy football draft earlier. But as far as
Definitely
this
check that out. It was
game,
pretty fun.
Where did
level
Thompson?
one hype train.
When did Thompson play in the playoffs for Miami again? It was 22, right?
22 when Tua
What
was
did
out.
Yes.
Who did he target in that game? I think it was a playoff game. Did he target the tight end?
Was it
I'm trying-
Gesicki?
That's a good question. Ooh, Gesicki. Wow.
I'm gonna guess it was Gesicki.
If Thompson is
Yeah.
starting next week, one of us should look at the statistics of that last game he played to see how many times he targeted the tight end. I think it'd be interesting because Jonnu Smith might be a sleeper on.
Yeah, I think he might be too. I don't. There's a.
Oh yeah, he could move into the 8 through 12.
Yeah,
Dude,
I mean,
it's murky after 5.
he looked. If he's gonna keep getting like that short yardage usage,
Hey,
you never know. I mean,
Creek,
I don't know.
Creek Squad, real quick. I would love it if Pat McAfee invited us on. I would do some Bills Mafia stuff. Ron,
Right.
we're up for whatever. All right, bring us on, Pat. If you see this, I'm looking at you. Bring us on. We'll make it entertaining. As
We
far
always want to make it entertaining. Come on now.
As far as these teams' matchups next week, you got Miami at Seattle, and you got Buffalo at Jacksonville. I'm sorry, Jacksonville at Buffalo. Could be two good games, but I don't know. With Miami losing to Seattle should win that game. I feel like Jacksonville versus Buffalo could be close, but I give the edge to Buffalo. Ron, who you got in both those games? No, we're not Buffalo fans. We're totally, unfortunately, cry ourselves to sleep Vikings fans.
Always cry yourself to sleep. Vikings fans. Man, Miami losing Tua is a huge loss. Even if you don't like Tua, he's a formidable enough starting quarterback where losing him is going to be big. And they didn't even with him, they didn't look that good. At Seattle, you got the 12th man. It's Seattle all day. They got Kenneth Walker's here. I mean,
Zach Charbonnet could be a good start, but we'll see.
I have an
Yeah,
update on Skylar
Who
Thompson.
you got winning, though? Who you got winning?
go ahead, Danny.
I have an
Alvin,
update on
sorry.
Skylar Thompson. So in the playoffs in 2022, when they played Buffalo and they lost 31-34, Skylar Thompson went 18 for 45. That's not. I don't like that.
Oh, that's awful.
What? Now listen to this. He only had one touchdown and they scored 31 points, which is interesting. Now here's what I was worried about. Gesicki only had 2, but here's what I think is going to happen for the rest of the time that Thompson said is I think they're going to fabricate touches for Hill because Hill had 7 receptions and 2 rushes.
But the problem
they
is,
have to.
the problem with that is you can see in the box score is they're going to try and feed Hill, but it's not going to be very efficient. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, no one else on the team had more than 4 receptions.
Hey, Jalvin, can you do me a favor? Since we got some new viewers in the Twitch, can you share our Discord in there? Ron, let's get to our starts of the week, okay? It hopefully can be a better fantasy production week. I mean, in general, football was pretty boring this past week. Low
dude,
scoring. Who was your start of the week?
Week 1, man. We both had, I had a couple good ones in week 1. Week 1 was pretty lackluster in terms of like fantasy relevance and all that. But we'll start off with quarterbacks as we always do. And as we've said before, we're not gonna tell you guys that are obvious.
Yeah.
You got Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. You're probably gonna start them over everybody. So to anybody new to this, we're not gonna be the people that are gonna give you the obvious decisions. We're gonna go
looking for the harder decisions. If you got
exactly
quarterback 12 and 15, we're gonna try to give you the guys that are difficult.
Exactly.
And let's be honest, we're probably not going to be right a lot because it's football and it's unpredictable.
It's football. That's the beauty about football, man, is that there are so many different things that can happen. And that's why we all love football, because you never know what's going to happen. So,
who's your guy, though? Who's your guy?
My QB start of the week, he's technically a backup, but we love rushing quarterbacks in fantasy football.
Ooh.
My QB start of the week is Justin Fields. This guy's got something to prove, man. Like he's technically the backup. He's a high draft pick. He wants to win. He wants to win this job. You're on a team in Pittsburgh that has a great history, and you're playing against a Denver defense that gave up 146 yards against Seattle last week. I think he's gonna have a good game, man. I think he's got a lot to prove, man. Justin Fields, I think he got sold for cheap when he got traded from the Bears. Justin Fields against Denver. He's my QB start of the week.
Yeah.
Justin Fields has, if I'm reading this correctly, 14 rushing attempts?
Just last week?
I'm on 2024 regular season stats, and I'm looking at rushing attempts.
Last week.
The top three were Lamar, which makes sense, Jaden Daniels, and in third place, Justin Fields with 14 attempts. That's actually important.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I picked him. Denver against Seattle last week. I think Geno had like 30 rushing yards and a touchdown. They actually gave up a pretty long rushing touchdown to Geno. That's one of the reasons I picked him. I think Justin Fields, Fields has something to prove. He has a chip on his shoulder. He got traded for some cheap draft picks, man, and I think he knows he's worth it. He's a worthy starting quarterback. Start of the week quarterback, Justin Fields.
Real quick, Red Label said, you guys gambling guys are fantasy only. Be curious about some locks for Sunday. Depends if you're talking about DFS or if you're talking about over-unders. I got some stuff for you. Give me some more general, like what you're looking for, and we can help you out. As far as my start of the week, he's not great this year. He lost a lot of weapons. He got a new shiny car. Justin Herbert versus Carolina. My biggest take of this is they lost Derek Brown for the year. He is probably their best defensive player. And just to give you reference, last week, the Saints, who are very similar to them, beat the hell out of them. Carr had 3 touchdowns. As of right now, the Chargers are predicted to win by 5.5. I got Herbert as a QB1, low QB1, high QB2. More realistic is probably a QB2. But to answer your questions, Creek Squad, Anthony Richardson or Fields, I got Richardson. Ron, Fields or Richardson?
Hey, real quick, Justin Herbert last year averaged, let me see here, so he had 20 touchdowns. He only averaged 1.5 touchdowns per game that he played.
Not great.
Herbert.
Not great.
But we love playing matchups in fantasy football. That is
Carolina
matchups is what it's all about. Carolina. Carolina.
Also, real quick, can we cheers to Jorgie again, dude? This dude is like
cheers one more time.
1,000 bits from Jorgs. Can we get a like a bit train? What's it called on Twitch? Bit train. That's gotta be a thing, right?
Oh, that is not
How would
what I
I-
was hoping for.
Jalvin, can I get a?
I'm telling you,
like
once we get the NFL
Um,
sounds in this channel on the stream, it's gonna be a little more fun.
Bear warning to everyone, okay? We have only been doing this for a week. It's gonna be good, I promise. Got some new
Absolutely,
designs
it's
in the
gonna be
works. We got some stuff going on. Ron, who's your running back start of the week?
Well, I want to answer this question from Creek Squad real quick.
Yes.
Anthony Richardson or Fields?
Ooh.
Man, you know,
What?
both of them have pretty good matchups against team. Green Bay is not going to be good while Jordan Love is out.
They held Hurts to pretty good.
I was going to say Green Bay has a decent defense.
They do.
Denver also has a decent defense. Honestly, I think I love playing to ceilings.
Mm-hmm. They're pretty close.
I think Richardson's ceiling is a little bit higher than Fields. I gotta go Richardson, man. I think his ceiling is so much higher than Fields is. And it's tough to not love Richardson after watching that 60-yard freaking
Bomb.
dime he threw. Oh my god, like it was week 1, but that could maybe be the throw of the year. That could maybe be the pass of the year. That was.
You want to like
Crush.
Richardson more? Guess what he averaged for yards per rush on week 1?
18.
7.
9.3. Almost a first down
Oh.
per. Almost a first down per rush. Just think about that for a second, guys.
That's not bad. I mean, dude, he put up a great stat line, and he didn't even throw for 50% completion percentage. Can you imagine how good he is going to be when he can figure out
How to read
where
a
he
defense?
wants to throw the ball? Yeah, how to read a defense and where he wants to throw the ball. But moving on, I think we both picked Richardson. I would pick Richardson. I think he's got the better ceiling. Yeah, Richardson.
Yeah. Real quick to Red Label. Basically talking about DFS. He's not a big fan of it. We need to figure out some player prop bets, and we'll get back to you. If you go into the Discord,
I would love doing that.
if you go into the Discord, I will start posting some player prop bets that you can focus on. Jorgie, he's a new guy. Apparently, he wins a lot of money on that, so he might have some advice as
Yes.
well.
He is in our Discord, and he is actually a very good friend
Justin
of ours.
Fields to 4 ATD. Appreciate what you're saying though, dude. Like we try to be cool.
Score.
And yeah,
I
we've
have
only
a
been doing it
hot
for
take
week.
on. I actually have a hot take on Justin Fields later. If you want to stay tuned in,
Yes, we got some good hot takes, some spicy hot takes.
we got some hot takes. We like to do hot takes as like some unpredictable stuff. But let's continue with our starts.
Yeah.
Um,
What you got, Ron? What you got?
we're moving on to running backs, and this is a guy for me that had a big week last week. Coming back, this guy has had major injury after major injury, and he came back last week with a huge game, and he comes into next week playing against one of the worst teams in the NFL. J.K. Dobbins versus Carolina.
Derek Brown out.
Derek Brown out.
Dude, Jorgie's just giving out subs left and right. What? Can we get another cheers?
Cheers, brother.
Dude,
Appreciate you.
just throwing
Yeah,
it.
J.K. Dobbins. Carolina they're going to be one of the worst teams in the league this year. They got I don't think anybody could argue that New Orleans is not one of the better teams in the NFL, and I think it was 47-10, right? I don't remember. Jalvin, stat check me on that. I think pretty sure it was 47-10. J.K. Dobbins, if they're up, he's
47-10.
47-10. Thank you. He was the better running back. He was the more efficient running back. Jim Harbaugh is a seasoned coach. He's going to go with the guy that's going to give him the better chance to win football games, and that's J.K. Dobbins. Gus Edwards is not that guy.
He's 25. That's
Dude,
the other thing too.
he's
Is
so
like
young.
J.K. Dobbins sounds gross, right? Like if you've played fantasy the past 2 years and you say the name J.K. Dobbins, you think injury, right? But he's
Right.
25 years old.
Talented.
Right. That is a great point, and that's another reason why I was definitely shooting to get him late in drafts this year.
I would let's say like 9th, 10th round. I was shooting for him, but he never made it. He never made it that far.
Unfortunately for us, we play in leagues that we have a lot more smarter people than we would like to admit. But J.K. Dobbins, big game last week, super efficient with his touches. Playing against Carolina, I mean, you don't get a better matchup than that. Carolina didn't do much on the defensive side to bolster that defense. They traded Brian Burns away.
And like I said, dude, they lost Derek Brown. Like they're
lost Derek Brown. Like
they got Lou.
Yeah.
I don't even know his name. They're not great. I'm gonna get to my start of the week real quick with running back.
Yeah, no, you're good. I'm done. J.K. Dobbins against Carolina. If anybody against Carolina, it's an easy.
He was one of our top waivers of the week, as long as he can stay healthy.
He was.
But my start of the week at running back is, and I hate to say it because I could have kept him this year. I could have kept him for a 6th-round pick, and in the league with Ron and Jalvin, I could have kept him for a 6th-rounder. Tony Pollard. Last week he played against Chicago, who's got, I think, a pretty good defense. They're probably like 13th for me, give or take. Now he's playing against the Jets. And last week, Mason absolutely obliterated the Jets. Another good start of the week. Pollard seems to be expanding on hopefully being the lead back, differentiating himself from Spears. But they got nothing else. I mean, what? Ridley is good for one big play a game. Levis is a dumpster fire. Their offensive line is bad. So Pollard is literally the only good thing on that offense. I got him as a high RB2, which is being generous. I'd say RB2 is more realistic, but start him up.
Dude, Ridley's a tough. Let me get this because I saw that. I saw that. I know what you're going to talk about. Ridley is a great wide receiver, but can you trust a wide receiver when you don't have a quarterback to throw to them? And the answer is no. And I see you shaking your head. Will Levis is not that guy yet.
No.
They need to. The Tennessee Titans need to lean on their running game, whether it be Pollard or Spears. It looks like Pollard is going to be that guy. I love that pick for start of the week, but I do see.
I like it, dude.
Creek Squad, bro. Fire, bro. Honestly, Richardson. I love Richardson this year. I think both of us can agree that the rushing quarterback, and especially in fantasy, the rushing quarterback is, as long as they can stay healthy. Rushing quarterback is league-winning stuff all year.
Yep.
We both love Gibbs. We both love Pacheco. We both love Jettas. We both love Smith.
Dude, the whole team is
great flex.
Fire.
And we both are high on Pitts this year. Creek.
That
Love
could be,
it.
honestly, that
I
could
think
be
we,
a
I
league
think
winner.
we both, dude. I think we both can agree that's a fire lineup.
I'm hoping that
But
Neighbors is
you're-
your flex. I'm hoping it's a flex league. And
It's gotta be. You wouldn't put 3 wide receivers in if it wasn't a
so
flex.
here's the thing. We gotta play some other. We gotta devil's advocate. Okay, one. I love it. I do. I love it. Richardson, he could be hurt next week, and I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, Gibbs, I'm not worried
Right.
about. Pacheco, I'm not worried about. Jettas, he might be a wide receiver too with Darnold. It's a possibility. Devontae Smith, I'm not worried about. Neighbors, you have bum Daniel Jones throwing the ball. And Pitts, I'm not really too worried about. Cousins should bounce back.
Dude, I think
that's a good team.
I
I'm hoping
think-
it's a 12-team league, and then it's even better. If it's 8 or 10, it's a little bit worse.
Justin Jefferson's floor is a high wide receiver 2 because he is that good.
Yeah, well,
He is too good of a
yes.
wide receiver to be under a high wide receiver 2.
Mm-hmm.
Don't matter who's throwing him the ball because KOC is going to get him the ball no matter what
I agree.
because he is that good.
Who's your start of the
He is
week
the-
at wide receiver, though,
Hey,
Ron?
Ron, real quick, back on J.K. Dobbins, just to give you some
Yes.
extra context.
Yep.
The Panthers had the most rushing touchdowns scored on them last year. So
It's a good start of the week.
Ron might have struck gold here.
I think so.
Carolina's just not good. I mean, they're
I-
going through this flux of like
I hate to say it, but you could start every player against him, and you'd feel comfortable.
yeah.
I would for sure
But-
start every starting running back against the Panthers at this point, right?
Well, so to
Kamara had a good
The
week against
team's
them
going to
last
get
week.
ahead and they're going to run it,
That's
right?
what
Every
I'm
team.
to agree with it.
Absolutely.
You don't want to want a quarterback. I know I picked Herbert, and I do think that he's going to be part of the reason why they go up ahead. But once they go up by 2 or 3 touchdowns, they're just going to run the hell out of the ball. So, who is your start of the week at wide
Yeah.
receiver?
So my start of the week at wide receiver is it's part he had a big first week, and it's part because I think the team he's playing against is going to have a bounce back week because I think the team he played against played really, really poorly and under what their like ceiling could be as like a team for Cincinnati. Xavier Worthy. We saw what Andy Reid loved to do with Tyreek Hill when
What the hell is that?
what the hell's what?
Hey, Jalvin, can you deal with that message? I don't really agree with people. What is that link that you're sending? Gabriel's 016.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a mod in your Twitch, so I don't know how to. Might want to delete it if it's a bad link.
Imposter, ban that man. I'm gonna go with the Creek Squad because I respect Creek Squad. Ban them. It's spam. Ban them. Do it.
Hey, Ron, real quick. I know you're going into Worthy, but I'd like some extra talk about how Mahomes is going to help.
Yeah, I was
Worthy.
gonna say that's totally spam. How do you get rid of that?
What's your question, Jalvin?
Well, a lot of people are down on Mahomes because he had a down year last year. So maybe you can combine your Worthy take with like Mahomes and how Mahomes will help Worthy. Maybe fill
man.
that Hill role that
There
they've
we
been
go.
looking for a long time since Hill left.
I mean, Mahomes is.
Worthy's the fastest combine player of all time, right?
Yeah, I mean, look at what Mahomes did with Hill, right? Man, can you imagine what could have been if Hill would have stayed with the Chiefs? How much more potent this offense would have been if Hill would have never left. Now they get Xavier Worthy. Patrick Mahomes is, this is a fantasy podcast, but real life Patrick Mahomes is the best real life quarterback
By far.
in the NFL right now. Andy Reid might be the best real life head coach in the NFL right now. Xavier Worthy besides we know what Tyreek Hill can do, Xavier Worthy could be the most explosive real life player in the NFL right now. He touched the ball four times last week, and he scored 2 touchdowns. Xavier Worthy is fast as hell.
Yep.
We saw what Patrick Mahomes can do with a guy like Tyreek Hill, and now he's got Xavier Worthy. Not to mention, you have Rashee Rice, who is like an absolute stud of an all-around wide receiver. He's big, strong, quick, whatever.
Ron, is this your new man crush? Xavier Worthy?
I like man crushes. It's all good.
Can we do a Ron man crush segment or something? Is that a thing? Ron, hey, who are your top 12 guys you love in NFL?
Travis Kelce's number 1.
Travis Kelce, Xavier Worthy, Josh Allen. All right.
Ron Worthy, he didn't have a lot of touches, but he had over 18 yards per touch.
And
That's my point.
I also think
Nick is getting me off topic, so Nick, shut up.
I got to keep you in line. Jelvin, real quick.
I am in line. Fuck you.
Jelvin, dude, come on.
I swear.
Jelvin, real quick. Look up the top run sprint speed of Worthy in the last game. I think it was the fastest speed since Tyreek Hill in 2019. Fact check me.
I'm gonna continue on my take.
Ooh, Shannon, dude, your take went on for 5 minutes.
No, it didn't. You're full of crap.
Okay.
Don't give me a time watch anything, because we were expanding on different things. Okay.
If I'm seeing this correctly, he wasn't in the top 5 for week 1. The top 5 when it comes to speed was Jameson Williams, AJ Brown. I don't know this player. You guys are gonna have to tell me who this is. Anthony Gold. And then Alec Pierce on that big one, and then Nico Collins. Yeah,
Anthony Gold, is that a real person?
I believe Alec Pierce because he had that big play, and then Nico's Nico. But who's Anthony Gold had the 3rd fastest clock time of week 1.
I'd have to look him up. Yeah, I'd have to look him up.
I'm sorry about the language, guys. This is what happens when Nick gets me fired up.
Yeah, it happens.
So thank you, Nick, for that, because
W in the chat for Big Ron.
I would still win in 21, but that's okay.
I don't know if we're going to talk about Nico later, but we should talk about Nico later. He almost ran 22 miles an hour. We should maybe
that's
him in
crazy.
If he's not part of a take.
Anyways,
let's get
taking me away.
Let's get on. Let's get on to the next start of the week.
No, I'm not.
Dude, you've talked about Xavier Worthy for 8 minutes. I promise you, I'm looking at the time.
Oh, all right, whatever. My wide receiver
Your start of the week is Xavier Worthy.
My start of the week, here's a quick take. Xavier Worthy, they know he's explosive. Andy Reid is going to find ways to get him the ball. You better freaking believe that.
Can we get
Xavier Worthy?
Can we get a we back in the chat for Big Ron? We back. There we go. We back. My start of the week. Ron's man. It's his wide receiver first quarterback, Chris Godwin. Can we get some big W's in the chat for Chris Godwin? 6 for 77 last week. This game is going to be high scoring. Vegas has it at over under of 51.5, and I think it's going to hit the over. So who was it earlier? Red Label. Smash that over, okay? I can see it being...
I like Red Label, by the way.
Well, let's be realistic, dude. That's 26-26. They're going to score more than that. Actually, I'm sorry. Last week, he was 8 for 83 and a touchdown. High upside wide receiver 2. If Detroit tries to take away Evans, Godwin's going to have a game. Ron, who's your tight end? Huh?
So my tight end start for the week. This is most people would probably think this is a stretch, but this I feel like this guy's a touchdown machine. And they're gonna have to pass the ball a lot playing against this team. It's Juwan Johnson for New Orleans against Dallas.
Michelle's my tight end. I like it.
Johnson scored a touchdown last week. Literally all this guy does is score touchdowns. Like, this is his MO. And when you're playing against Dallas, like, you need to score touchdowns to try to keep up with them. Juwan Johnson. I think Derek Carr likes looking his way in the red zone. I gotta go with him.
It's not a bad pick. It's
Thank you. I'm glad I have your approval.
Yeah, I have to disagree with you every once in a while. I mean, if I just sit here and say I agree, it's no fun.
It's not.
I mean,
if I get a chance, by the way, I do have. I would like one start of the week as a special guest. I have a good one.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's see. Can I finish my tight end and then I'll get you in there?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll be real quick. It's easy. Kobe Parkinson. I shouldn't say easy. Kobe Parkinson against Arizona. They're missing Puka. Cup's going to be the guy. Who's going to step up as the number 2? Last week, Parkinson did fairly well. I think he was 4 for Jalvin. Stat check me on this. 4 for 49, I think. Arizona shut out Kincaid last week, but Arizona's defense should be focusing on Cup and Johnson, potentially Robinson. They got Kyron Williams. I have him as a high upside tight end too. And yeah, of course, Ron and I beef. We go back, okay? I beef with Ron more than Wendy's beefs, which doesn't make any sense. I understand, but that's what me and Ron do.
I like that. We go back.
No. It should have been Arby's. It should have been Arby's. Should have been Arby's. We got the beef.
They all do beef. Like, what does it really matter? Like, it's all about the beef.
That's what I said. I should have said Arby's.
With Arby's and Wendy's, like, honestly, like,
yeah.
Can you really argue that?
Wendy's doesn't have beef, but Jalvin, if you want to go with your start of the week, let's hear it.
Yeah, I'd like to just have one player, and this player is somebody that a lot of people went into the draft this year worried about. They didn't know what round he was going to get drafted in. They didn't know how his quarterback was going to bounce back from what we argue is a down season in fantasy. This person seems to be almost like a middle of the field 10 to 15 yard safety blanket for the quarterback, and that person is Rashee Rice. In PPR especially, I think Rashee Rice, based on the last month of last season and what he showed week 1, he is an every week starter in PPR now. I don't know about standard, because he is more of a PPR, again, middle of the field, get that first down, get a few extra yards. But what I saw is complete trust from Mahomes in Rashee Rice. I think he's the alpha in that room right now that Kelsey's starting to age, and we can clearly see his age on the field.
Oh, he looks slow.
And with the recent news today that Hollywood Brown not only went on IR, but he might be out for the year, Rashee Rice, and I'm biased here. I have a lot of shares of Rashee Rice this year, and I will tell you guys,
welcome.
I am extremely happy that I have this guy, because he might be a top 10 wide receiver at the end of the year in PPR.
Oh, totally.
You're
And
welcome.
Can I mention that Ron could have kept him for a 15th rounder?
13th.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was still late, though.
Whatever. I'm not gonna explain myself to you guys.
No, I just got to mention it.
Did you tell people who he traded
Hey.
in to?
Ron, do you like the matchup for Ligma? That's what Creek Squad said. Ron, who's your defensive start of the week? Ligma?
Always.
Is it Sugma?
No, got it. Start of the year. You guys can talk all the crap you want. If you could keep Puka for a 15th with Rice, who had all the legal troubles, not knowing what's going to happen, you guys would have all done the same thing I did. So you guys can.
He tried.
I'm surprised there weren't
I have
more
Josh
serious
out,
buyers.
Josh out.
There should have been more serious
Dude,
buyers
it is what it
earlier.
is, man. I didn't. I needed picks. I didn't have.
Big
I
pro tip
traded away
to,
my
Saquon over
to
Jamar.
anybody in
That's a good
chat right
pick.
now. If you're in a keeper league, you have to think about that. You cannot just look at what this player is going to do to me this year. Keeper leagues are completely different. I've learned that from these two guys. That's why I trust their judgment. Do not value your players like you would in a redraft in keeper and dynasty. It's
Oh,
completely
it
different.
completely changes things.
We've talked about it. We've talked about that a lot in our videos, just with like waiver wire pickups. You can't like league to league. Everything is so different league to league. Like that really doesn't have a lot of relevance in what we're talking about right now with start sits, because start sits that should not be biased towards dynasty or anything like that. But when we talk about waiver wires and stuff like that, that definitely plays a big part in that. Right now, it's been 1 week. 1 week is not definitive of anything. Like sitting here right now telling you that I kept Puka Nacua over Rashee Rice, do I regret it? Absolutely.
Bros.
Because Rashee...
Hey, Ron, real quick. Are you down to do a 24-hour stream with me? Jalvin? Huh?
Right now?
The last time I did a 20... Keith would vouch to this. I did a 24-hour stream, and I was drinking a lot of beer. I probably shouldn't say this, but playing God of War, and it was awesome. Okay.
I bet it was awesome, but I have a real life to get to, so no, I cannot do a 24-hour stream.
This is what we do.
Absolutely.
Friday night.
Cannot do that.
Friday night at like 10 or 11 o'clock, okay? We start the stream. End it Saturday night at 10 or 11 o'clock. Both can get some babysitters. It's fun. Congratulations, Mr. Dotem. You're hammered.
Mr.
I love
Dotem.
It. I'll cheers to that. Way
Dude,
too early.
Mr. Dotem, by the way, way too early predictions. He took Saquon over Jamar.
Ballsy.
That's looking awesome. I got to keep Jamar as a fifth round keeper in our league that me, Nick, and Jelvin are all in, and I was really hoping that Saquon dropped to me, and he didn't. So you got Saquon. He looks freaking solid this year. That's a great pick.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done it. Well, actually, I don't know. Jamar was risky.
I'm gonna go with Red Label Super Bowl predictions. Kansas City looked so good, dude. Honestly, I think it's gonna be the same as last year's. Kansas City and San Francisco. They look too good. L in the chat for me.
All right,
Why?
Ron, who's your defensive start of the week?
My defensive start of the week. I'm gonna follow your trend from last week. I'm gonna go Los Angeles Chargers against Carolina. Carolina's just not good. I mean, they're just not. It's hard to bet with them. Chargers dominated Las Vegas last week. I think it's
Can we get an L in the chat for Ron? That's what the Creek Squad
can't.
said. Another L in the chat for Ron for having a real life and not doing a 24-hour stream. We need the 24-hour stream. All right.
Okay, you do too. You ready?
We got to
You
put it
doing
on.
it too? I saw somebody crawl across your screen.
Yeah,
Who was
that's my
that?
wife. That's my wife.
Okay. My wife is sleeping.
Wow, what a loser. Yes, I would. Dude, I've done 24-hour streams. Of course I would do
Okay,
that.
you would do that right now?
Okay, how about
You-
this? How about this, Ron? I would do a 24-hour stream, and everything we make goes to charity. Let's do it. We both pick our charity.
You listen.
That's what I did
Chat.
before.
Chat.
40. I can't do 48 hours.
You guys.
Stealthy
listen.
wife W in the chat. Ron, what do you say?
That
Let's
was, listen, that
let's
was
set
dope.
up.
Listen, you give me some time to
Ron.
deal with this. Listen, you stop talking. I have 3 children. They are all boys, and they are all under 3 years old.
It's for charity.
Nobody cares about your crickets, Jalvin. So stop that. Charity or not, dude.
Mr. Donum.
Hey, Chargers were 9th in sacks last year, by the way.
Ooh, thank you
So
for
they're
that.
gonna destroy Bryce Young.
Oh, Nick turned his camera off. She's
No,
probably
Ron.
showing some titties or something.
That's important. Bryce Young is gonna get trampled again, I think.
Dude, Carolina's not good. I mean, that's just a fact. Carolina is not good.
Can we say
I
this?
mean,
Let me
everybody-
ask you this, guys. Can we say that you start your DST against Carolina every game this year?
Pretty much.
Like, is there any DSTs that you play that you wouldn't start?
Absolutely.
Right? Like,
Uh,
let me see the. Hold on.
I think
Carolina.
I think if you start a defense against Carolina or the New York Giants all year this year, you are winning.
I'm looking. I don't see any defenses on their schedule that like you wouldn't start.
And I believe you. That's why my defensive start is the Los Angeles Chargers against the Carolina Panthers. Who you got, Nick?
My start of the week. The Pittsburgh defense going against the Broncos. One of the lowest over-unders of the game at 36.5. Knicks threw 2 interceptions last week, sacked twice against a way worse defense. So I think TJ Watt's going to eat. I think Minka Fitzpatrick is going to probably get a pick. I'm not confident in the Pittsburgh offense. But if you are going to hammer an over or under, let me think, that'd be 18, 19. Hammer the under on this game. Red Label, you're hearing me. Hammer the under on it. $1,000. Okay, not that much. Like $10.
Whoa.
$10. Okay, hammer the under, and he'll be okay.
I'm cracking another beer, boys.
Hey, do it up, man. This is Bros and Beers. This is what we're about.
Ron,
We're having fun. Hey, you know what? I agree with the Pittsburgh start. That was
Red Label has joined the Discord. Let's go. I want to get people in there.
hey, yeah, get everyone in there. 10-4, I'm putting the house on it, dude.
Hey, we want everybody in here, man.
Discord, I promise.
Are,
Discord's gonna be popping.
we are about as normal of dudes as you can ask for.
That care way too much about fantasy.
Oh,
Beer
way
cheers?
too much is an understatement.
Oh my God.
Hey, beer cheers. Let's go, Jorge.
I need to grab another one. That's another
Dude,
$10. Oh
dude,
my god!
literally winner of the night, Jorgie. And just to let y'all know, Jorgie, we appreciate you, man.
Hey, I'm gonna sneak another start of the week since Nick
Hey,
has
this is
left.
you. Let's go.
And again, I'm gonna be biased here. He is on my team. I think this running back, if he remains healthy, is in a system that's always gonna get him 12 to 15 touches a game. He's in a system with arguably the best wide receiver in the league, and
Oh, I know what you're gonna
he
say.
has a decent backup. I think Aaron Jones is an every week flex. I think Aaron Jones might even be an every week's RB2. Like
Hey, that was very stealthy, Mr. Red Label. Or Mrs. I'm sorry.
Ron, do you agree with me that he unplugged this stuff?
Ooh. Oh, Ron. But real quick though.
I snuck in a second start of the week, Aaron Jones.
No, you're good. Jalvin and Ron. That's pretty much all we have for tonight for the video. As far as our next stream for YouTube, we will be back on Sunday night talking about a recap of Sunday's games. Make sure to like and comment our videos. Stuff. Here's our other social medias. YouTube, TikTok, X, so on and so forth. Until next time, guys. Thank you.